what has prompted this is there is a confirmed case in Pontotoc County in Ada. There was rumored one in Seminole. We don't have confirmation on that yet. But we want to try to head this off before we have cases here in Holdenville. And so we're going to take action to protect not only all of our citizens, but our employees here, your customers, your businesses. And we'll lead into some things. Some of the things that I discussed with some of the surrounding mayors, which one of them came to a shock to me. I was surprised when I heard about it. But I had one mayor that told me that they've had people coming in from Louisiana and Arkansas and buying groceries off the shelves and going back to Arkansas and Louisiana. And these are high concentrated areas, especially Louisiana, where they have a lot of cases right now. So we're going to take action before we have cases here in Holdenville to try to at least minimize it. And I'm going to read the emergency proclamation here in a few minutes. One thing we talked about is making sure we protect our businesses. And so let me go into, there is one thing that I do want to mention, and I'm sure a lot of businesses are aware of it. There is the SBA, which has created the Economic Injury Disaster Loans. They've got a toll-free number, and we'll post that on the website. I don't know if Mike, have you already done that yet, or, okay. And people are urged to sign up for it. Even if you don't utilize it, you do need to sign up for it if you're a business here. So we're going to read the emergency proclamation, and then the city council will discuss it. It's the emergency proclamation, City of Holdenville, Oklahoma. Whereas March 23rd, 2020, 81 cases of the COVID-19 has been confirmed in the state of Oklahoma. Whereas the President of the United States and the Governor of the state of Oklahoma have both officially declared that COVID-19 outbreak to constitute a national and statewide emergency. And whereas health professionals and researchers have determined that the COVID-19 is spread by human contact and interaction, and that the avoidance of human contact through methods such as social distancing is believed to stop or slow the spread of the COVID-19. And whereas the spread of COVID-19 is a disaster threatening to or resulting in the death or injury of person in the city of Holdenville to such extent that extraordinary measures must be taken to protect the public health, safety, and welfare. Whereas I, John Massey, Mayor of the City of Holdenville, do find that the aforementioned conditions constitute a threat to the safety and welfare of the City of Holdenville and creates an emergency disaster situation within the meaning of Section 683.3 Oklahoma Emergency Management Act of 2003 as mentioned. Now therefore, I, Mayor of the City of Holdenville, acting under the power vested in me under the Oklahoma Emergency Management Act, do hereby proclaim and declare a state of emergency exists within the City of Holdenville, Oklahoma. This declaration shall become effective at 3:30 p.m. on March 24th, 2020. The state of the emergency declaration shall remain in effect within the City of Holdenville until 8 p.m. on April 7th, 2020, unless determined earlier by further proclamation. The following City of Holdenville facilities shall be closed, and programming and events of said location shall be postponed or canceled until the expiration of this emergency declaration. Holdenville City Hall, which we took action earlier last week, and the Grace Pickens Public Library. All bars, lounges, cigarette bars, and vaping lounges shall be closed to the public. All restaurants, dining rooms shall be closed to the public. Pickup and delivery options are encouraged, with a lot of our restaurants have already enacted that over a week ago. And I'm very proud of them for doing that, taking consideration of their customers. All barbershops, beauty parlors, health clubs, spas, nail salons shall be limited to 8 people in the salon, including employees. Services by appointment only with no walk-ins. All essential groceries and retailer establishments shall daily provide at least 1 hour of controlled access for patrons aged 55 and older. This proclamation is dated 23rd of March 2020. And I'm going to go ahead and open up discussion with the City Council. We're taking these actions to try to avoid this, these rules, and they're changing hourly. You know, there's reports through the CDCs that here in Oklahoma, this thing may not peak for another 6 to 8 weeks. So it's very important that we get a hold of it before it happens here in Hughes County. Is there any discussion with the City Council? Any questions that we need to talk about?
I was informed that some people were wanting to, as far as the landfill goes, the people that we have, the gentleman that we have out there working is elderly, close to retirement age, and does have health problems, and I would suggest that close the landfill down during this time.
Do that or just
I
have a
think we
different
do.
over there?
If you can come up with somebody to get out there, I'd be more than glad. But as far as right now, Bob is off work,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and we have to have so many guys on the trash trucks,
Sure.
and
I was thinking Bob was his brother. Is he ill?
he spoke with John. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Bob has a lot of underlying health conditions also, and they're concerned about being out in public.
Sure.
And that's our goal, is to protect our citizens, especially our seniors, and our city employees, because if this thing doesn't, if we do have a breakout, the city still has to operate. We still have to produce water. We still have to manage the waste treatment plants. And we still have to have our line maintenance crews working for leaks. I mean, the leaks aren't gonna stop just because we have enacted this emergency proclamation. So we have to make sure that that these employees are taken care of so the city can stay in operations. We are gonna do some things to protect our restaurants. I know there's several restaurant owners in here also, but some of these things, this all stems from this emergency proclamation, is we're not gonna allow food vendors in here selling food. We're not gonna issue permits to them to come in here and sell food, because that's, right now, our restaurants have to have every dime they can muster to stay afloat, and all of our other businesses also. So we won't do that. Even vendors that come in and sell products that would take away from the dollar store or Sharps or Walmart, we're not gonna do that either. I do ask that the public please quit flushing the hand wipes and rags down the toilets. It's causing havoc with our waste treatment plant, and we asked them in the last meeting to please conserve, if they're staying at home, please conserve water, so we're able to continue producing water. But it's just vital that they listen to that, those requests. And these are requests to please stop flushing those things down the toilet. if you've got those type of items, bag them and throw them in the trash. Is there any other thing that, there is one other thing I want to talk about too. I think it's just important that we make sure that we use good distancing in when you go to the grocery stores, when you go into Walmart. I've gone in and I've been observing traffic that goes into Walmart, into the grocery stores, and a lot of people aren't even grabbing the hand wipes for their shopping carts. And I just cannot understand with this emergency. I mean, we are in uncharted waters with this emergency that we have. We don't know if this is gonna play out in 4 months, 6 months, 2 years. We just don't know. So lifestyles are gonna have to change right now, but we just have to think about, protecting our community. And so, I'll open it up here in just a few minutes. I just wanna make sure that our city council, if they have any other discussions, is there any other discussions that you wanna talk about?
I just wanted to say, after the fallout of all this, if you see a lot of business owners here, if you have employees that you're gonna have to lay off for the next couple of weeks, just if you'll have them come see me if they're struggling with food, if they need formula for their kids, anything like that we can help. We can't do it long term, but maybe if they have a monthly bill that we can help with, that our church would be more than willing to help with as much as we can, because I don't see any way around there being a huge impact when we do this. And I'm looking at a lot of people that own businesses here. So if we can help your employees in any way, or you personally, please let us know. We're happy to assist in the short term if we can.
Dane, would you like to also comment on what churches are doing? A lot of the churches are canceling their services.
Yeah.
And
Our church personally and district-wide, I have a Zoom call tonight with 80 of the pastors across Oklahoma. We've had to even cancel our district assembly, which is means nothing to anybody who's not a Nazarene, but it's a statewide thing, and it's impacted us in a major way locally. We're not meeting for the next 2 weeks. We're following daily with the presidential guidelines the best that we can. So we have no income. We have nothing for the next couple of weeks. So what we've done personally, a lot of churches are doing Facebook Live and stuff like that. I'm not very good at all that. So what we're doing is trying to make sure that we have a list and keep it in constant contact with the elderly and the homebound. And we spend our Sundays as about 5 or 6 of us as a little ministry team. Rather than gathering for worship, we get a list of people and what they may need, and we just sit there and make phone calls. We started yesterday, and we'll do that as long as we don't meet, which I'm hoping, folks, you know what it's like to shut down anything for 2 weeks. I'm hoping after that we can start moving forward again. But that's one thing we're doing. Several churches are doing Facebook Live. I believe most all the pastors I know in town have stopped meeting, though, for the next couple of weeks. So
they have, I've talked to numerous ones, and they have, we took action in our personal business to shut it down. It's only opened up to calls for emergencies, for plumbers or electricians, or oil field. Right now our oil industry is suffering greatly. They're talking about possibly because of what's going on that oil prices could, and I've never heard of this in my life. I've been in the oil business for nearly 40 years. That could dip down in negative territory, which means prices could drop below $1 a barrel. And if that happens, the state of Oklahoma is going to be in terrible condition. A lot of our people in the oil and gas industry is going to be in financial ruin. So it's affecting everybody across the board. And we just all have to pitch in at this point. I have had some restaurants call, and a couple of pizza parlors, of course, Pizza Hut, and they went into McDonald's. You can't, they took it up on themselves, and it's company policy that they shut their dining down over a week and a half ago. It's just strictly carry out. And other restaurants have followed suit before we even called for this. So we're just asking that everybody be vigilant, be protected, do sanitize, try to keep, people do come in, or you do carry out. Please keep everything sanitized. This is something that, it's not just a Holdenville emergency. This is statewide, nationwide, worldwide. And, we're all gonna have to pull together. We may have differences of opinions, but we're all gonna have to pull together to get through this. Like I said again, this is uncharted territory. We don't know how long it's gonna last. We don't know how bad it's gonna get. And they can't predict here in Oklahoma how bad it's gonna get. So if you know elderly people, I would hope and pray that you would check on them. I've been checking on several elderly people that I know to see if there's anything I can go get for them. My number is on the list to call. City Hall has a site set up for emergency. I know the police department does, and I think Mike has numbers that if our senior citizens need any assistance at all, they can call, and myself or some of the city employees will go out and get what they need, whether it's medicine or groceries. So, is there any other discussion with the city council? Any other questions? I think we had a question back here.
One, I would like to see that we hold out there today, asking if we're gonna go to mandatory lockdown. Two, I would like to see the put a cap on the total members that talked to items and yesterday, just two items. They said that they had a delivery truck yesterday, one body after it was gone. And then just even as far as, just for sanitation in general, because of our dumpsters, I know they're a little bit rough and I know the sanitation department is gonna feel, but if the trash is overflowing and the people are sick or they have respiratory viruses and the dumpsters are overflowing, what is this new information?
We'll make sure that Sam, go ahead.
A lot of the problems with the dumpsters, I'm not positive here in Holdenville, but I do know in Seminole, people from out of town will dump into the dumpsters. As far as I know, I mean, if there's no complaints being given, I mean, I can't really, dig into something. I haven't heard any complaints about businesses with their trash overflowing, but a lot of times, it's not the actual business that's filling these up, it's people dumping on them.
Because ours got missed last Tuesday and hopefully it'll be picked up tomorrow. And I'm just gonna say, and I see the ones that, just right around here, people like by your church over there, they just, I see them, they can run in, they can dump all of this stuff. And that's- I'm just saying.
The main thing, if you're trying not to get off course here,
Yeah,
but
we need to stay on focus. But
yeah, we need to stay on what the agenda's talking about, but if you're getting missed, complain. And, don't get on Facebook. If you want to, go ahead, but if you want something done, the best thing to do is to call City Hall and make a complaint.
Well, I want to touch on one thing you were talking about, the things disappearing off the shelves. There are people that are overbuying and they send their family. I know that Walmart has restricted a water to 1 gallon per customer, but the problem is that person will send their family members in and get another gallon, and what they're doing is hoarding. So what happens is it creates a problem for us if we have to have something for senior citizens. These things aren't available, and they're doing the same thing with milk. I had one report, I talked with the manager at one of the grocery stores where there's actually people coming from Oklahoma City, and they're just making their stops as they come, Seminole, Wewoka, Holdenville, and they're cleaning the shelves from chicken. And then they go to Wetumpka and they clean the grocery store out and check about every one that they had. And it's 2 or 3 women doing this. And so we just need to make sure that, I've asked them if they can monitor what's going on, stop this excessive buying, and limit to where everybody will have enough supplies to get by. They are going to make sure that they can keep shelves stocked, But when you have people that keep repeating, going and buying hand sanitizers, Lysol spray, like you said, paper towels, toilet paper, buying gallons of milk and gallons of water, and it's a shame. And it's not so much our citizens doing it, it's people coming in because, in the bigger cities, they are restricted, but they can come in here and they're not. So we need to get in compliance with what the state and federal guidelines are, and I'm gonna talk to all of our grocery stores and Walmart and the dollar store to make sure that they're stocked. I know some of the restaurants are gonna try to. I talked with one restaurant to make sure that they'll have, so they can do their carry-out and transition into the carry-out from the dining in, to make sure that their suppliers are supplying them, well, they'll have plenty in case there's some interruption with supplies coming into our restaurants. And all you all know that have a restaurant, you all know exactly what we're talking about. Yes?
Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick thing, or whoever else needs, we've already been doing delivery services for probably about 6 months now. I was talking to Petit as well, because I saw the article about, please helping the truckers. But if y'all have anybody inbound that needs a delivery, I don't care if it's from McDonald's, Sonic, toilet paper, from where, our delivery service is available to anybody for any business.
That's great.
Okay, we'll put you on we'll put your number on our website
That is
and let
great.
people call in. We appreciate those things. And that's what I'm talking about. A lot of our businesses are already, stepping up to the plate, and I'm telling you, that's how we'll get through this. Citizens stepping up, our businesses, we appreciate that. That's what it's gonna take to get through. Yes.
So when does this go into effect for my salon, only 108 people?
It'll go into effect tomorrow at 3 p.m.
So if I'm under the guidelines and I only have 6 in, I cannot take a walk-in even though I'm under 8? I mean, because a lot of people don't make appointments. I mean, they walk in, guys never make appointments, ever. So are you telling me that you can't cut their hair because they don't have an appointment? Oh, yes, they.
Well,
As for me, I don't, I'm just one person, but as for me, I don't see a problem with it as long as we stay under the 8
If we
people.
stay under the 8 people, I can take walk-ins. My girls can take walk-ins as long as we're under the 8 people.
well, can you control that though, with
Absolutely.
walk-ins?
I can control that. I can have them in their car. Yes. I can
Can
control
we
it.
just,
Well, I'd say mainly, I mean, from an enforcement perspective, if you're under the 8, I think that's what everybody's saying the consensus is. But the whole purpose of this is to control the spread if there is. So if somebody comes in and they're exhibiting, for example, a cough or they don't really look that good, it'll be incumbent on you then to say, look, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
Right.
And I know a lot of business owners are doing that right now anyway.
Right.
right.
But,
Hey, I can do that.
I just want to emphasize too that, we're, right now, we don't have a case that we know of, but this is what we're trying to prevent having cases here. And that's what some of the mayors I talked to in their counties also. Unfortunately, one mayor's I talked to already have one there, and that's in Pontotoc County and, in Ada. So,
Well, I'm already keeping my seniors on Sundays, for seniors only. I'm not doing anybody else on that day, just seniors. But I mean, I do get walk-ins, on Main Street, and I've got 6 girls in my salon, but that's their livelihood.
well,
Walk-ins,
I
but
would
mean,
ask that you, make sure that your door handles are sanitized and
I
that,
use
that
99% alcohol.
employees,
sanitize
yeah.
everything.
employees just need to make sure that they're keeping clean and, it's very important that we stop this spread before it gets here. And I promise you, if we're already seeing this now, if we have a couple of outbreaks here in Holdenville, we will be having to call the sheriff's department, the police department to, stop some of the chaos because we just don't know how this is gonna play out. But everybody just has to make sure that they're all working together and, keeping your 6-foot distance. I'd say go from 6 foot to 8 foot. That's just my personal opinion, but do what you can and, not only protect your employees, but your customers also, that will also protect the public, so.
I would just ask everybody too, that, like, I was in the dollar store earlier today, and the manager there was telling me about how people's been treating her and her employees. There's no need to be rude to people.
Right.
There's no need for it. The actual manager there, she has her granddaughter who lives with her, who is 7 months cancer-free, so she's battling not only doing her job and trying to be fair to people, but she worries about what she takes back home. And, when you're out and you're buying what you need, just take into consideration that those people are there, they're working diligently. They're being called in, they're working extra hours, there's no need to be rude or hateful. If you see someone being rude or hateful, just kindly ask them, they're human too, and they're doing the best that they can do with what they have. So I would just ask that everybody step in and try to be the better spirit of what is all going on, because we're all in this together.
I've talked with, one of the employees there at one of the grocery stores, and that was another thing I was gonna bring up too, and brought up is, the grocery stores have a list of what you can buy singly, okay? So one item at a time. And there'll be some people bring up 2 or 3 items. Well, it's on that list, and they start cussing that employee out. And so, I think we're probably, I wanna make sure that if it gets to that point, that those employees need to have our police department's telephone number on speed dial, so they can notify them, and we can stop it before things get out of hand. But there has been people that have just thrown those items down and walked out because they can't buy more than one. And those people are the ones that's causing the shelves to be empty. So Mike had a question.
I don't have a question, I just want to make a statement. As testing becomes more readily available and more people are getting tested, more than likely, there's gonna be a spike in these numbers. And the state is basically wanting people not to panic, because I think this morning at 11 o'clock, there was still over 700 tests that we haven't got results back from. But over the next week or two, the numbers are more than likely gonna spike, just because the testing is becoming more readily available.
Mike, do we have any news on Hughes County, if there's testing or what's going on, or any results or anything?
There's been no confirmed cases in Hughes County. The closest county to us is Pontotoc, and they've got 1 case.
But have they tested in Hughes County?
I think there's been some people tested, and if they're not positive, then nothing's said.
They are setting up a testing center, I'm not sure where, they're gonna set up 4 testing centers, around the state to make it more, so the southeastern region is gonna be Pittsburgh County and Hollister.
Okay.
So he said Walmart, I didn't see what that was.
Marcia, can you, there's rumors going around, I've had numerous phone calls about EMS worker in Seminole that was tested positive. Can you,
I can't say anything about it.
Oh.
Hughes County, we did have an EMT that was exposed before the lady was diagnosed. He was immediately sent home as soon as we found out she was diagnosed, and they took proper precautions.
okay,
He's been off for a little over a week now, he'll come back next Monday, he's still isolated now.
okay, thank you.
Just as a precaution, he was sent home.
Okay, thank you. I do want to say that our police department, our sheriff's department, these guys, I'm telling you, they're out on the front lines and they have no mask. They don't have anything that will protect them. And I'm telling you, we need, if anything comes available, we need to make sure that our police department, our sheriff's department will have access to it. I've been in contact with Walmart trying to get masks. I tried getting them a month ago when we saw this happening and had a case of them ordered, which would have been 6 boxes of the 3M N95 mask. By the time they got ready to ship us, that was 11 o'clock that morning. I placed the order. By 1 o'clock, they called me. Their shipment normally goes out from Texas at 3. They called me up and said they're not shipping anything to distributors. They had a federal call to the federal government, and they're requiring all those masks be sent to the hospitals. So, but we have to get some to our law enforcement also, and we're still working on that, so when it becomes available, we'll get them to y'all as quick as we possibly can.
Well, in reference to that, John, the state is supplying those items, but the counties that have, confirmed cases are priority,
Okay,
so.
okay. Yes, sir.
Just a matter of education for people. By the way, I think that the actions that have been taken are just about the right thing at this point. The danger would be to overreact at this point. But a matter of education, just because someone is coughing doesn't mean they've got coronavirus, so don't panic. This is an albuterol inhaler. I've carried one in my pocket for probably 20 years because I'm asthmatic. And certain times of the year, I cough worse than others. Anybody who's been around an asthmatic, and you can hear it in my voice right now, you know what I'm talking about. And I was first diagnosed at age 9. So don't panic if somebody starts coughing. Make sure they didn't choke on their Coke first. I've done that too. But just that little bit of
I do just want to add, I saw Mr. Davenport sitting
I've
there.
seen people give me real dirty looks here recently, and I don't.
The school has been so gracious during this time to feed our kids, and I took them up there about 11:30, tried to drop them off, they wouldn't let me, so they gave us some lunch, and they also, in that same sack, there was cereal for breakfast and a sandwich for lunch, so huge thank you to the school, and if you've got kids, that'll take a huge burden off of you, financially and food-wise for the next couple of weeks.
Moss,
Thank you, Dan. I was getting
Moss
ready-
School District also.
Moss too, okay.
Greg's getting ready to call on Randy to see if he had anything to add or any information.
Yes, we are providing a lunch from 11 to 12:30. There will be a breakfast along with that. That's any kid. It doesn't matter if they go to Ewoka, Ada, Moss, it doesn't matter. Same thing with Moss. Mr. Hill and I have been on the phone quite a bit about that, and so if they live here, they can still, it doesn't matter where they pick the meals up. It is going to be recommended this week that we remain closed probably through the remainder of the school year. I'm not sure yet, as right now we are down April the 6th, but that is what they are going to recommend. We are going to try and do some type of virtual learning at all possible for students. But as of right now, you cannot get in any building for the school district. The only persons that get in are the ones working with the child nutrition and helping provide meals, and they have to have temperatures taken prior to entering the building. It's recorded, sanitized outside the building before they get in to even handle any of the food. But we are hoping to feed between 300 and 500 lunches a day. So I encourage you to go any of the 6 places, all 3 sites, high school, middle school, and elementary, along with Creek Nation Community Center, along with Oak Ridge Apartments and Holdenville Ridge Apartments. It's on our websites, it's on our Facebook pages. We had all calls go out with all the information. It's from 11 to 12:30. But we are continuing to monitor what we do with our staff and anybody that's around the school system completely. I've been on the phone with Mr. Dockery. Unfortunately, we are coming into severe weather season. Mr. Dockery and I made the decision this last Wednesday to not open the safe rooms. The state does not want any public school facility open at all besides the lunches. We will continue to monitor that. Hopefully we get a little more clarification either from CDC, State Emergency Management, or the State Department of Ed on that. But it's an ongoing process of what we're doing.
Well, Randy, we appreciate what the school district is doing for us and for the community. And I know Mike has been staying on top of for everything with, emergency management. If there's anything that the city can do to help, let us know. We'll help within our means that we can. But this is what I'm talking about, everybody working together to get through this, and this is a crisis. And, we'll get through it. We just need to make sure that we stay vigilant and after the, stay on top of this, this virus. And it's gonna take everybody working together.
Linda has comments.
Mr.
Okay.
Davenport, has it crossed your mind, or do you have any idea what you're gonna do about graduation?
We had a special board meeting Friday night. We threw around every scheduled event between now and the end of school time. If the State Department closes school for the remainder of the year, we will have to look until after that fact. We get out, last day of school is May 14th, graduation's May 15th. Biggest idea right now is prom, because that's next up on the list. So that right now is what we call postponed, but we don't have any idea yet how long this will last. This is like Mayor Massa said, we don't know. It could be 3 weeks, a month, 6 weeks, a year, we don't know. But we are still continuing to monitor those and still planning on having something. We just don't know until we get to that point what to do, how to go about it even. We've thrown around Facebook Live, with every kid, because every kid has Facebook, do ceremonies like that. And, we monitor very strictly how many people are in our cafeteria for prepping the food. We don't have any more than 10. We're not real sure to do that. But we are continuing to monitor every event that has been scheduled. We have 3 seasons of athletics going on right now. We have Little League. I encourage the city to help push to make sure Little League is doing the same thing as the public school. We are no practice, no facility, no anything.
They're not doing nothing.
And we hope to encourage that too. I know some people use around the parks and around the facilities. We are trying to make sure they're not there at all. Around them, we have their fog machines and things that we run through the schools twice a week now when they're closed. We do it every day when we're open, but we do them twice a week as closed. There is people in the offices 9 to 1, and so if there is somebody that has to have something for a senior, transcripts, things like that sent to university, they can contact, but they can't come to the building. We'll have it set outside for them.
Well, thank you, I've been asked, so thank you.
Yes.
One other thing that I'd like to address and make sure is not gonna be an issue, we've been talking with the Oklahoma Blood Institute. We have a huge ballroom and they were gonna be coming in to do a blood drive. I think it will be after the 7th, I don't know, but they were gonna have people at the front glass doors doing screening, their nurses. Is that gonna pose an issue, for us to do that since we're under this 8-man thing? I think they were gonna put 5 stations on each side of the ballroom, so it kept everybody apart, but they were gonna pre-screen, have everybody check before coming in, but their blood level, the donation stuff is really, really low, and they're in great need, so we were working on setting that up, but I'm not trying to get any violation, but,
My understanding with the blood drives are still going on, and that's all been done, I think, with the Oklahoma Department of Health's kind of supervision. And so anything that the State Department of Health is gonna be able to do, I think it'll be okay if you get the
well,
guidance
as
from.
soon as they give us a for sure date, they were looking at the actual 7th originally, but they said it might be the week before or the week after. They had some others that they were trying to iron out, but, they were gonna bring the people in to do all the screening, and it's just gonna be in that glass front door in the ballroom area, so.
Yeah,
I just
Oklahoma
wanna make
blood
sure there
supplies
won't be any
are
issue.
way down, and they're really trying to get as many
Yeah,
blood drives
yeah.
going as possible. So as long as it's being done with the Department of Health, keep City Hall informed, but we'll
Yeah, absolutely.
coordinate with you and making sure that gets
As soon
done.
as we get the dates, I will forward that over to you.
Okay, anything that changes with this, within within this timeline. We'll get it posted immediately. Mike will have it posted, so if y'all just keep an eye on some of that, you know, on the city websites, and that way you can stay informed, but,
If you'll,
it is critical though that the blood banks do what Mike.
if they'll download the Holdenville app, like today, I sent out a message, a push notification that we was having this meeting. So that stuff will all be on that.
Marcia has a comment.
Okay.
So,
Yes, Marcia?
a bunch of questions about martial law. If we can police our people, everybody do what they're supposed to do, nobody has to ever worry about that.
Okay.
Right.
If you can go home, I've been in a few arguments with my mom. Before I came here, she was at Hobby Lobby in Ada buying material for new trucks. That is not a life-threatening situation. Get your groceries and go home.
Right.
Hang out with your family.
Right.
Let's enjoy this time while we've got, the ones that can do it can stay with their families, enjoy their families, because usually we don't do this time.
Well, that's true. That is a good point.
Go get your necessities and go home. That's what everybody needs to be doing.
Well, it's good
We don't
family.
want the military in there telling us, you know, when we can leave our houses and when we can't.
Right.
Because everybody polices their own, we're good.
Right, that's a good point, Marcia, and it is good family time. Linda, is there anything you need to report from City Hall on procedures or what we're doing? I think we need to let them know what you've implemented.
Well, right now, we're just taking payments, credit card, check, or money order. We're not taking any cash payments. They can call and pay their bill over the phone. They can go online at the website and pay their bill. We're waiving the credit card fees for their card payments. And we'll work with anybody that can't make a full payment. If they'll just contact the office, we'll work with them about that.
Okay.
And we've had a call about whether the lake is gonna stay open or not. I know that Wayland has closed the restrooms out there, but the lake is not shut down yet.
No, Waylon called me earlier before the meeting and said that it depends on how things progress, but at this point, they're still gonna be able to, I think he's gonna spread out some of the campsites and not have people so close together. So that's one thing he's working on. And you might also emphasize, Lynn, about the shut-offs for, during this time, we're not doing shut-offs, but we will work with people that are behind, like Linda said, but you might go ahead and put a little bit on that.
Right, we're not shutting anybody off right now. Just keeping them on. If they have problems with their water and need to have it shut off to fix a leak or anything, we will do that.
Okay.
So, but still pay your bill.
Mike?
One other thing, you was talking about online payments, you can also use that app to pay your water bill.
Is there any other questions or,
Just write a check a minute.
Yeah, just write a check and mail it.
Check.
I go to the post office every day.
Okay.
okay, I'm sorry, man, Linda, you have to speak up, I can't hear
I
you
know
over
it,
there.
well, I feel like I need a microphone.
And Gina's hid in the corner over there. Gina, do you have anything you want to,
No, I was in Pruitt's today, and they were stating that they're going to be opening up from 6 to 7 for seniors to come in. You need to call, make an appointment, but they'll help you with groceries and things like that, just for our seniors to come in and get the necessities that they're needing. So, from 6 to 7.
okay, good. Sheldon, do you have anything you want to add?
Just burn permits, we're limiting those because we don't want people coming into the station to do the burn permits. So if we can get your information over the phone, and we know you and we trust you that have got burn permits in the past, we're gonna allow that. And if not, we're gonna take them to the front door and fill one out there and sell it as fast as.
Okay.
Other than that, you know, we're closed unless we have to allow them to call or anything.
Okay. All right, thanks, Sheldon. Chris, is there anything you need that you want to comment or report on?
The police department's gonna stay open, the doors are gonna lock, somebody's gonna come in, open. A lot of law enforcement agencies have reacted as if they're waiting for calls to come in. We are not, we're gonna keep down in the streets. We've added some more resources to our overnight shift. So we're still doing what we do.
Okay, good, good. Marcia, is there anything else?
No, I'm sure everybody's aware the courthouse is closed. If you have an emergency, you can call in. Our new office across the street, we're actually open. It's just the old office, the green door on this west side of the courthouse. If you have an emergency and you come there and knock on the door, somebody will talk to you and get you where you need to be. Same thing with the courts. If you have court, you come to the door, they're on the side. And if you're on the list given to us by the judge, you will be allowed to come in. Otherwise, you won't. All the other courts have been pushed further on out.
Including the city courts. Judge Pitts has counseled all that till end of April.
Okay. Randy, is there anything else you want to touch on?
We're just kind of in a holding pattern until Wednesday, 9:30. I do think that the state board will approve to be shut down the rest of the year. We continue to put out information through all calls, Facebook, webpage, so for any further information.
Okay.
Bring your children, get them a lunch and a breakfast.
All right, everybody just keep in mind that this thing can change every hour, so we'll keep you informed if it does. If the state, whatever the state enacts, guidelines that they'll, you know, we'll act accordingly. I'm gonna go ahead and call for a motion on the emergency proclamation.
Make the motion to approve. I second it.
Gina makes a motion, Linda seconds it.
Dane Robinson,
Yes.
Gina Gordon,
Yes.
Linda DeShields,
Yes.
Tony Wolf,
Yes.
Liz Campbell,
Yes.
Lynn Lance.
Yes. Okay, item 6, this meeting's adjourned, thank you.